Mr. Bill Atkins, who has some good thoughts for us. Bill?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President of Education. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, Stacy. If this capsule in history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. Yet the vows of this nation can only be fulfilled if we in this nation are first, and therefore intend to be first. In short, our leadership in science and industry, our hopes for peace and security, our obligations to ourselves as well as others, all require us to make this effort to solve these mysteries, to solve them for the good of all men, and to become the world's leading spacefaring nation. We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained and new rights to be won, and they must be won and used for the progress of all people. For space science, like nuclear science and all technology, has no conscience of its own. Whether it will become a force for good or ill depends on man, and only if the United States occupies a position of preeminence can we help decide whether this new ocean will be a sea of peace or a new terrifying theater of war. I do not say that we should or we will go unprotected against the hostile misuse of space any more than we go unprotected against the hostile use of land or sea. But I do say that space can be explored and mastered without feeding the fires of war, without repeating the mistakes that man has made in extending his rip across this globe of ours. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win, and the others too. That race was ultimately won by Neil Armstrong, who died this weekend at the age of 82. He inspired a nation, and indeed a world, based on the vision that John F. Kennedy set in that historic speech that I just read excerpts from. There are few times in any of our lives when we're called upon to do something that's greater than ourselves. I mentioned in my speech last week that you do not need permission to change the world. President Kennedy and Neil Armstrong chose to go to the moon. What will you choose to do? Thank you.